Alright, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are doing something very interesting. Here in Colorado, we like our broccoli. Now I was thinking, maybe it'd be fun if I went out to my porch and ate some broccoli every time we had a really good book to review. So, yeah, maybe it's just an excuse to eat broccoli. It's maybe I'm addicted to broccoli. But I'm gonna go eat some broccoli, and then we're gonna talk about Salem's Lot by Stephen King. Alright, let's talk about Stephen King's Salem's Lot. This was a banger. But first, as always, this is gonna be a completely spoiler-free, detail-free video. We will be talking only general feelings, and we'll keep it completely vague. With that being said, let's get into it. Stephen King's Salem's Lot is about a small town and vampires. That's all I'll say. It's about 400 some pages and 150,000 words. It's Stephen King's second novel. First, we're going to talk about the plot intrigue. Now, this is an absolute 11 out of 10. I think this is the most entertaining plot I've ever read, at least proportionally for the size of a book. Like, so much happens. It's so exciting, so good. Yeah, what can I say? All I know is I wanted to read this book every single time I put it down. It was so gripping and such a page turner. What else? What else can I even say? Next, we're going to talk about what makes it not a 10 out of 10, even though the plot is an 11 out of 10. And that's going to be characters / relationships. So, it doesn't get a bad grade, still gets an above average 6 out of 10. I'm sure Stephen King will never get a below average grade on this, but there's a lot of really good relationships, a lot of really good characters. I don't think they're special. This is a bit of a hard thing to talk about because there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it wasn't special. And alright, so the other thing I feel like that could have been different if it was up to me in this book is the length. Listen, it's impossible to get to know every character that's introduced in the page count he has here. I think personally I would have liked this book a bit more if either he decided to not introduce us to so many people, or if he would have dove a little deeper into it. I honestly think this book was a great opportunity to make a super long book. Twice or even more than twice the length, just on getting to know the town a little better. I don't know. Alright, next we're going to talk about believability. Now this is a hard one to talk about. I feel like I think about it a little differently in every book I read, but this is just, are you ever taken out of the story by anything? Do the characters do what you'd feel they do? How real does it feel? Does it feel alive? Now, because the characters lacked a little bit, this is only going to get an 8 out of 10. But as usual, Stephen King's world, this town, this place, everything going on feels very real. You can smell the mist in the air. And, yeah, total vibe. Just the characters, to me, like I said, felt slightly generic, which kind of equals characters, 2D characters. You know, now, how scary was this book? We definitely gotta talk about that with any horror book. And this was scary. There are some scenes in here that are super duper scary. It's like that dark, spooky, evil kind of scary. In the woods at nighttime, that helpless kind of scary. All right, now we're gonna get into our overall grade. This is always a personal enjoyment grade. And this was as solid of a 9 out of 10 as 9 out of 10s come. It's like so obvious. I didn't have to think for a second. I was like, this book is a 9 out of 10. It's so good. But, you know, next I'm planning on reading either Revival or 11/22/63. So that's like 20 years or maybe even 30 years down the road for Stephen King. So I think it'll be very fun to read maybe Stephen King's best early work alongside his most famous recent work if I do pick 11/22/63.